One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
Happy freaking Monday morning, man. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their Monday morning out there in, well, the universe. You know what I mean? Great to see everybody. Hopefully everyone's enjoying themselves, and you guys made it to Monday, so that's a good thing. That means you're alive. W for that. Hey, by the way, we have a very interesting show today. As you guys know, we've been reporting on this whole Russia, Ukraine, and the United States ordeal with Trump basically trying to be a peacemaker. We have totally discussed that and reported on that. Now we know this is the second half of the conversation before there's a big actual where all Trump and Zelenskyy and Putin sit down together. So right now we are on this lead up here. Trump meets with Zelenskyy today, as well as EU leaders. Then we also have two big shootings that ended up happening, one in Utah and one in New York. We have all that information for you guys, the latest updated news on that within the last couple of hours. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the madness of the morning, man, make sure you guys come in and hit that like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button because it's also free. Please consider, though, becoming a member starting at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is the way that we get to speak the way that we do and get paid to do it. You know, listen, we got to be able to actually be able to sustain ourselves. Speaking of, with your guys' membership, man, I do want to show you guys that I'm putting money into the show, of course, because that's, you know, not only making money, we're going to be putting money into the show, of course. So I just purchased us a Elgato Stream Deck, so that should add some character to the show. It's going to be a great time. It should be here within this next week. So, but anyhow. Little side note here, follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes and not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, and breaking news, man. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. And if you guys are interested, we have a whole community in the Discord. We have that link down below of every single video. So if you guys want to join up and hang out with us, man, it's a great time. Whether we're playing video games or hanging out, talking shit, whatever the case is, drinking. It's a great time, man. So make sure you guys join up. And last but not least, every super chat, gifted chat, gifted membership, super sticker is the word I was looking for. All these things are going to be shouted out live onto the show, of course. And but listen, if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to. And of course, I'll read it out right away. I've got my email up. So if anything comes through, I will absolutely see it right away. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, great to see everybody. We got Motobomb up in the building, as well as Miss Lotus, Brother Steve Posey, Rabbit of Chaos, always appreciate her. We got Steve Easy in here as well. Let me scroll down. We got Liquored Up with Poncho. Great to see you as well. Carney's Ride. Good morning, good morning. Sick Bastard, my man. We got Tiffany Lance as well. Good morning to you. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well as Brother Lee. We got Brother Todd as well. Great to see you. Frank, my man. Always appreciate him hanging out with us. Brother Todd J as well. Gary, good morning to you guys. Much love, honor, and respect, everybody, man. We got a lot going on, so we're going to go ahead and start off with in chronological order. We're going to be starting off with this whole ordeal in a Brooklyn club over there in New York. 12 were shot inside a crowded club, and there was, I guess, 4 shooters. So they're saying 4 shooters sought. So we're going to see what's happening here. We're not going to play this entire thing here. This is a long press conference, but we're just going to go ahead and get the facts of what's happening here, and then we'll move on into Puerto Rico. We have some interesting news regarding Puerto Rico as well. Oh, man, I can already tell it's going to be dog shit fucking audio. And then right after that, by the way, we're going to be going into Trump meets with the Zelenskyy and European leaders. We have that ready for you guys, as well as the 3 officers that were shot in Utah. We have 2 stories on that within the last hour and a half. So anyways.
Good morning. I should just say morning. When you have 12 people shot in a city, a mass shooting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mass shooting.
Second in a few weeks. You know, it's just.
Yo, MacGyver, we got my man MacGyver up in the building. Shout out to my man. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning. Great to see you. Hopefully you're not having too much of the Monday blues, but we're trying to make it a good time over here. That's absolutely a fact. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
It reinforces why we do this work of going after guns off our streets.
Brother Blair,
and I just
my man.
really want to thank the police commissioner and the men and women.
You know, he speaks a little slow, don't he? We're going to bring him up to 1.5 playback speed.
Of the New York City Police Department, Pastor Morose, Commissioner Howard, GYCD, and A2 Mitchell from Man Up, who just has been a real partner around the issues around gun violence. It's almost 2019, we had 12 people shot in Brownsville. I remember walking with
this isn't a gun issue, homie. Just letting you know, it ain't a gun issue. It's a people issue. Go to the root cause. Stop attacking guns. I can already hear it. What angle he's going at here.
Mitchell throughout Brownsville and Pastor
Don't
Rose,
get it.
as we looked at that issue.
What's up, Anson? Good morning, kind sir. Great to see you as well.
We're back with the shooting of this
Blair,
that took place in
funny.
July. This took place here, as you know, in August. Last night, we lost 3 New Yorkers and 9 more are in the hospital after a horrific act of gun violence at a nightclub in Crown Heights. Today,
what's up, Christopher Collins? Hopefully you're enjoying your morning, too.
The victims and pray for their families and their community. We are calling on the public. We need your help.
Yo,
we need your help.
Real quick,
if you were
hold on. We got Tiffany Lance coming in with the $2 saying dues for Lee and I. Well, hey, first donation of the day. We're making it rain out here. I see you. I see you. Dues paid. I very much appreciate that.
At the club, if you heard individuals talking about this shooting, if you witnessed someone fleeing the location, every piece of information would allow us to put the puzzle together to solve this crime. If you witnessed the event, or if you have information, please call Crime Stoppers, 800-577.
Holy shite. He's saying call Crime Stoppers, by the way. We got Papa Penguin dropping 5 gifted memberships. Holy fuck, dude. I really appreciate you making it rain on not only us, but you're helping someone that's also in the Breakfast Club, man. So I really appreciate that. Gifted memberships are some of my favorite. And obviously, I think my all-time favorite is when people actually sign up to become members. I love that. And then they stay members. That's my favorite. But gifted memberships, I really appreciate that, Papa Penguin. It helps out the show immensely. I think you know that. It adds up quick. So thank you.
TIPS, TIPS, 800-577-TIPS. Gun violence of this magnitude, it really scars a community and a city. But we will continue to fight to do everything that's possible to continue to take illegal guns off our street. And I can easily stand
Well,
here
yeah,
and
I
tell
mean, I agree getting illegal guns off the street. Sure. Sure.
you how we have driven down crime.
But it's going to be totally used and go on the radical side. Now it's going to affect not just those illegal guns. Now it's going to affect, I guarantee you, because they never stop there. There's never a hard stop. They just got to keep pushing their agenda until it infringes on our rights as citizens here in the United States. It's unfortunate.
Have we had that we have removed over 2,000 illegal guns off our streets. I can give you those numbers, stats, but that does not comfort those.
What's up, Lipstick? Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well. Great to see you. Happy Monday morning. Hopefully everyone's enjoying. I see everybody up in the building. 13, my man, I saw you as well. Good morning to you, kind sir.
To other victims of gun violence. But I can tell you we will continue our aggressive pursuit to remove these illegal guns off our streets. Every single victim of violence, particularly gun violence, is one too many. And last night, mass shooting reminds us all the work that we must continue to do. And the NYPD and our partners in our faith-based community and our crisis management teams, we have mobilized them to immediately respond to this incident, as well as work with the friends and family.
Okay, so let's go ahead and skip a little bit.
I'm sorry, the Commissioner of DYCD, Commissioner Howard, and A.T. Mitchell, they will be coordinating to see a mass shooting plan. He's going to be put in charge of getting all our partners together so we can mobilize around these mass shootings. As I stated, this is the second within weeks, and we don't want this to turn into a normal course of doing business of violence in our city. And CMS hospital responders will be dispatched to Kings County Hospital, Brookdale Hospital, and Maimonides hospitals where the shooting victims are receiving medical attention. And we want to thank those hospitals for their quick response. Additionally,
it's an easy way to deflect. You can point easily and get people emotionally going, oh, well, this is bad, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, that kind of has been overriding a lot of our logic within the last, I would say, obviously forever, but really highlighted it within the last 15, 20 years. I mean, it's just brutal. Real quick, 13 says, we had a huge bar club in Nashville, 5 different bars inside one place, something for everyone. That's really cool. Until the dark skin moved in, they just bring shootouts wherever they go. Holy fuck, that sucks. It sounds like a great business idea, but that's sad that it's been taken over. We got Sinister Side up in the building. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning. Great to see you, by the way. We got Obi Joe. Good morning to you, kind sir. Great to see you both. Hopefully you're enjoying your mornings. Beezer, I don't know where Beezer's at yet. Maybe he's still sleeping, old Beezer geezer. We got Bob from Biker News Canada, my man. Great to see you, as well as Hooch Riders. Always appreciate you, and great to see you, man. We got Brother So Loud as well, man, and Carney, Steve Posey. Thank you, guys. And Rabbit of Chaos.
We provide trauma services and facilitate mediation efforts.
Man, that's awesome, Sinister Priest. Hopefully you enjoy your time here. We report world news, geopolitics, American politics, without the agenda, though. We just give out exactly the facts of what's happening. And then, of course, I will give my opinion on things when I'm usually asked. But, yeah, man. This is what's going on right now.
For the families of the deceased individuals and
this is all today.
Retaliatory action. And finally,
it's all news that's happening right now today.
We are going to pray for the families and the victims and ask for all New Yorkers to join us in prayer as we lift these families up. We cannot answer hate with hate or violence with violence, but you have my word. We will do all that we can to protect the innocent and bring the guilty to justice. We will find those who are involved. And right now, we will continue to think of the families. I want to turn over to the police commissioner to give us any update and just.
Oh man, that's totally unacceptable. By the way, real quick before he gets into that, we got 30 in the chat, man, but we only got 17 likes. Yo, that's brutal, bro. That's definitely brutal. So make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps out the show immensely, bro. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your guys' laborious work doing that. And yes, I do agree with what Anson said. By the way. Yes, this is something that I've actually said on my show before. It's never really a race thing here. It's actually a culture difference, and that's not being able to. The culture is unfortunate here, and how just like any other culture, there's always going to be some sort of culture that can't assimilate or whatever the case is, and yeah, that's what I think most people are talking about.
As the mayor said, what happened in Crown Heights this morning was a tragic, senseless act of violence. Our prayers are with the victims and their families. Our job now is to determine who is responsible and to hold them accountable. We have spent the past few hours poring over surveillance video, canvassing the neighborhood, and I can provide you with the following update, which is preliminary and subject to change.
Oh, geez. Then don't even tell me then. Okay. We got the facts, basically, on what's happening here. I don't need to hear that bitch just whine over the top over people and about something that's most likely going to change. She opened up with that. So we're going to move on from that. So that's a little update of what's going on. They're definitely going after the guns, as per usual. They're claiming that it's going after illegal guns, which I do agree with. But then usually what happens in these kind of politics is they overextend and then it goes into the rights of the citizen, right? So that's the problem there. What happens when an activist's job is done? They go become an activist in something else, or they keep pushing until it's way been overextended, and now the pendulum is going to start swinging back the other way because people start going, hold on, this is fucking crazy. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for that to happen in New York, California, Chicago, all these different places that are extremely Second Amendment, anti-Second Amendment. I'm just waiting for that extreme pendulum swing back, because it's once everything moves this way, it eventually swings back over. It's just the way it goes, bro. All right, let's go ahead and go into Puerto Rico before we get into Trump. Puerto Rico reacts to Hurricane Erin as massive storm soaks the island. Now, we're not going to play this whole thing, just giving you guys a little update of what's happening here.
All right, welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack. We're still tracking Hurricane Erin. Made a significant increase, strengthening to a Category 5 storm over this weekend. It has been since downgraded to a Category 3 storm as it moves past Puerto Rico, heading for kind of the Bahamas and other parts there in the Caribbean, in the tropics. You can see our computer X-Rad monitor here as it's going to take a hard right turn.
Oh, man.
Avoid making landfall there in the United States.
That's fantastic news for the United States so far, though. Unfortunately for Puerto Rico, they got hit a little bit. But this is great news, seeing this curvature here. If it doesn't pick up any more speed or strength, this is the trajectory right now. So hopefully it stays that way and we can all miss this shit. That'd be great.
Still see impacts, as the most recent update from the National Hurricane Center talking about some of those heavy bands of rain continuing
That's right,
along
Lappy.
portions of
Great
Puerto
to see
Rico,
you, by the
Virgin
way.
Islands through tonight. Talking about a tropical storm condition expected in Turks and Caicos and southeast Bahamas tonight.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of rain over here, but for not that reason. Totally not from the hurricane or anything.
Monday, Erin is expected to produce life-threatening surf, rip currents along the beaches of the Bahamas, much of the east coast of the United States, the Atlantic, even all the way up to Canada over the next several days. Let's take you right now out to our Fox weather.
So they're just saying bands of heavy rainfall will continue across portions of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands through tonight, but are expected to diminish by Monday, which is today. So they must have put this out this exact message right here. They came out with this message Sunday, August 17th. So they're just reporting it today, talking about it. That's what the NHC Atlantic posted on X. Let's see here if there's anything. Tropical storm conditions are expected in Turks and Caicos Island and in the southeast Bahamas tonight and Monday. Erin is expected to produce life-threatening surf and rip currents. Yes, I'd imagine the rip currents are going to be terrible all throughout the entire coast of the East Coast. So you guys be careful out there. That's definitely going to be a huge thing. If you guys don't know what a rip current is it's pulling water out into the main part of the ocean, right? So it's pulling water. So when you go out there and start swimming, all of a sudden you start getting sucked out to sea. If you don't get yourself the fuck out of that, you can be pulled all the way out there. So be careful. That's definitely something you guys need to be aware of. Anyways, all right, let's go ahead and move on into Trump. Today, President Trump meets with Zelenskyy and the European and some European leaders. Let's go ahead and bring this up. We're going to go ahead and discuss this real quick. And real quick, before we get into the madness of this, man, shit, little side note here.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
Yeah, I hope it stays on its predicted track as well, Sinister Priest, for you and a lot of my homies. Absolutely. And everyone that's in the United States. I'd rather it obviously miss us. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
I'm Jean Afrin, saying right now we do want to transition to the latest of the Trump presidency. It takes us out to the nation's capital, giving you a live look at the White House. This morning, the ball is in Ukraine's court. That's President Donald Trump's message to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. This ahead of a high-pressure meeting today at the White House. It's a follow-up to President Trump's meeting last week with Russian President Vladimir Putin. We want to check in this morning with Fox News correspondent Doug Luzader. He has more on the peace effort today from Washington.
Real quick, make sure you guys get the likes up, man. I really appreciate that.
This is going to be a crowded scene at the White House for this meeting today. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is under enormous pressure, and he's not coming alone. With Russia trying to lock in what gains it can, another sit-down today.
Damn, was that a GoPro footage of fucking a missile? Or a drone, I mean? No way.
It's trying to lock in what gains it can.
Look at that. Oh, no, that's the camera on the drone that they're controlling. Okay, I didn't see the little crosshair here. I thought there for a second they had like some other footage or some shit, but that makes way more sense. Okay, there we go.
And another sit-down today between President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. And already, Trump is ramping up the pressure. Posting last night on Truth Social, President Zelenskyy of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, or he can continue to fight.
This is tough stuff.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio laying some groundwork over the weekend, saying Ukraine will have to make concessions.
You can't have...
Man, that's right, Brother 13. I appreciate the post there. Mr. Mike, news anchor, commentator, and PT meteorologist. That's funny, bro. Serving the South Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. CST and internationally, bro. Absolutely. Wherever your internet gets a signal, thanks for joining us. That's right, bro. I really appreciate that. W comment, by the way.
A peace deal between two warring factions unless both sides agree to give up something and both sides agree that the other side gets something.
Zelenskyy, meeting with European leaders, pushed back against land concessions to Russia.
The constitution of Ukraine makes it impossible to give up territory or trade land.
And Zelenskyy will be joined at the White House today by 7 other European leaders, all making the case for a tough stance.
Okay, real quick, I want to bring that back so we can see those flags again.
At the White House today by 7...
Ukraine, the European Union, NATO, Finland, France, Germany, Italy, UK. So this is all who's supposed to be showing up today at the White House. Damn.
Other European leaders, all making the case for a tough stance
What up,
against
neighbor guy?
Russia
Good morning.
following last week's Trump-Putin meeting in Alaska.
That meeting was a disaster. It was an embarrassment for the United States.
Critics accuse Trump of giving in to Putin, but the administration says security guarantees could build a lasting peace.
It means that the United States is potentially prepared to be able to give articles.
That's Steve Witkoff, by the way, our special envoy to the Middle East. And actually a lot of international affairs.
Security guarantees, but not from NATO,
Brother
directly
SB?
from the United States
morning.
and other European countries.
And President Trump is already saying there is no way Ukraine will get back Crimea, which Russia seized back in 2014, and NATO membership is off the table. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
Well, of course, that's the whole reason why the war started in the whole fucking first place.
No, thank you so much for that detailed report. And as we are following the very latest ahead of these high-level talks on this Monday, the latest from the commander-in-chief, as today he will meet with the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelenskyy, and European leaders. He put on his social media platform, Truth Social, quote, "Big day at the White House tomorrow," alluding to today. He goes on to say, quote, "Never had so many European leaders at one time. My great honor to host them. President DJT," of course, that stands for Donald J. Trump. We're also following the very latest from the Ukrainian.
What's up? Get some. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday morning as well. Great
President
to see
this
you.
morning. Take a look at your screen. It is cut off at the bottom, but I will read it in full for you. Again, he put this out about 5 hours.
How come every single time Zelenskyy puts out something, it's always got to be a novel, bro? Every single time. He can't just sum it up. This motherfucker always got a one on top of him.
Emotional damage.
Ago, but he was alluding to today. He says, quote, "I have already arrived in Washington. Tomorrow I am meeting with President Donald Trump. Tomorrow we are also speaking with European leaders. I am grateful to President of the United States for the invitation. We all share a strong desire to end this war quickly and reliably, and peace must be lasting. Not like it was years ago when Ukraine was forced to give up Crimea and part of our east, and Putin simply used it as a springboard for a new attack." He goes on to say, quote, "Or when Ukraine was given so-called security guarantees in 1994, but they did not work." Of course, Crimea should not have been given up then, just as Ukrainians did not give up Kyiv, and then he lists other areas after 2022. Ukrainians are fighting for their land, for their independence. Now, our soldiers have successes in Donetsk and Sumy regions. I am confident that we will defend Ukraine, effectively guarantee security, and that our people will always be grateful to President Trump, everyone in America, and every partner and ally for their support and invaluable assistance. Russia must end this war, which it itself started, and I hope that our joint strength with America, with our European friends, will force Russia into a real peace. He goes on to say, quote, "Thank you." Now, as we are following these high-level talks, if you're wondering who will be attending this high-level meeting as relates to those European leaders.
No, he's not fighting for his country. He's raising money for his country. That's what he's always trying to do when he goes out there and tweets like that. I think both Russia and Ukraine are dicks. Let me just make that clear. Both of them, I think they're cocksuckers. And really, honestly, we shouldn't have any involvement financially at all. And I don't think that any other country should either. You're just funding more and more death at that point. You know what I mean? You guys really want the war to end, you stop funding it, you know? That's one of the very first things to do is cut off the money.
Look at your screen. Fox's Aisha Hasni posting this on X, giving a detail of who will be in attendance. Of course, we will be following the very latest here on Live Now from Fox, and the latest from Rapid Response 47, a detailed breakdown of when everything will kick off. Noon Eastern time.
And do you know why he got invaded by Putin?
Leaders to arrive to the White House. Then at 1 p.m., President Donald Trump.
What's up, Naomi? Great to see you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday morning so far. Great to see you.
President of Ukraine, 1:15. The president participates in a bilateral meeting with the president of Ukraine. And speaking of Ukraine, we actually have some live looks that I want to share with you on this Monday morning, giving you a live look there out in Kyiv, Ukraine, here at 6:17 on the East Coast. We also have this live look, which takes us out to Moscow, Russia. We will continue to follow the very latest of all things of these high-level talks right here on Live Now from Fox.
All right, so let's go ahead and move into the next ordeal. We're going to give you guys an update regarding the 3 officers shot in the Utah shooting. We actually have 2 different stories covering it, so we're going to go ahead and bring this up for you guys. Bam.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, and good morning to you if you're just now tuning in. I'm Gina Francina. Right now, we do want to transition to your...
This just came out 3 hours ago, by the way. Authorities have arrested a suspect after 3 officers were injured in a shooting in a northern Utah city Sunday night.
Headlines as we are following some breaking news out of Utah. Take a look at your screen. The latest scene footage, courtesy of our content partner.
What's up, Brother Shadow? Good morning to you.
Over at Fox News. Fox 13 Utah reporting that one person is in police custody this morning after shooting at officers in Tremonton. They go on to report that the Tremonton Garland police officers responded to the area of 700 North and 200
I appreciate that, Brother Path Killer, as well, man.
East near North Park Elementary School. In a press release this Monday morning, the Brigham City Police Department, which is handling the public information for this incident, they said the suspect shot at officers. Officials not yet confirming whether the officers were hit by the suspect's gunfire. Early this Monday, the public information officer for the Brigham Police Department providing an update for us. I want to play that for you now.
Detective Crystal Beck with the Brigham City Police Department, CRYSTALBECK.
They've actually got pretty good audio on her for being so windy out there. You can see her hair, you know. They're actually doing a good job here.
On August 18th, earlier today, Tremont Garland officers responded to a disturbance call. Upon arrival, they immediately began taking fire. They requested additional units.
Yeah, Naomi, you don't want to say hi to Anson? Shit.
And then stopped answering their radio. Once additional units arrived, they were able to locate the subject of the shooting and take him into custody. Multiple agencies...
Brother Frederick Frame, by the way, great to see you as well. I see you up in the building as well.
From Box Elder, Weber, and Cache counties responded to assist. As of right now, there is no current threat to the public. I do believe that there still is a shelter in place for the area of 700 North and 200 East. We are also asking the public to stay clear of the area.
Actually, yesterday.
Yes, yesterday. I guess it is.
Okay, so is there any...
That information right now.
Yeah, see, she basically gave out all the information that she basically could there. So we have the update on this whole ordeal where I think they actually come out and start talking about this a little bit more in depth. So I just want to show you guys that little conference there and then get the kind of what's going on facts. And now we're going to go ahead and give you guys the full facts here.
I'm going to touch on some breaking news as I bring you some footage here from overnight concerning 2 police officers who were shot and killed in a northern Utah city.
That's a damn fact,
man
13.
taken into custody, and we're hearing now that another police officer was wounded. Just a couple of minutes ago, we saw that an update was being had, a briefing from investigators down there on the scene. It is still going on at this moment, but we do want to play it for you from the beginning. Let's take a look.
That's a shame, Papa.
So, good morning. My name is Chad Reyes. I'm the Chief of Police with Brigham City Police Department, and I'm here on behalf of Chief Dustin Cordova and Sheriff Kevin Potter. They've asked me to give the media an update because they need to spend some time with their departments, as I'm sure you can understand.
For sure.
On August 17th at...
Real quick, before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button. Helps out immensely.
21:02 hours, so 9:02 p.m.
Carney's Ride comes in with the 2 spot, by the way, saying, become a member. Yes, sir. I really appreciate you, kind sir. We're going to make it rain. Shit. I really appreciate you, kind sir. All right, let's go ahead and, he says 29 so far this year. It's actually down by 22% this year. Are you talking about for police officers getting unalived from people? Is that what you're talking about? That's a wild stat, by the way.
The Box Elder Communications Center received multiple 911 hangups from an address near 700 North, 200 East in Tremont, Utah. An officer from the Tremont and Garland Police Department responded and began speaking with an occupant of the home who was reporting an apparent domestic disturbance, at which time a male emerged from the residence with a firearm. The male opened fire on the officer, striking and killing the officer. A second officer with Tremont and Garland Police Department responded to assist the first and was immediately fired upon by the same male suspect. The second officer was also struck and killed by the suspect's gunfire. A third officer deputy from the Box Elder County Sheriff's Office.
So 2, unfortunately, have been unalived, and another has been wounded. That's terrible.
Had also been dispatched to assist, and as they arrived in the area, the suspect fired several rounds into the deputy's vehicle, striking the deputy and the deputy's police service dog. After being hit by gunfire,
he shot the service dog. Damn, homie.
The deputy and police service dog remained in their vehicle and were subsequently evacuated to an area hospital and specialty veterinary clinic where they received medical treatment. Both are recovering and in fair condition now. After firing upon these officers and police service dog, the suspect was convinced to put down his weapon by bystanders, and he was immediately taken into custody.
By bystanders, not by the cops.
By additional responding officers. Due to the level of violence and lack of information precipitating this incident, SWAT teams responded to clear the home.
And it's so crazy. In that moment, I mean, I would be like, if I were the cop, which I would never be, but let's say I was, I'd be really like frustrated and not to the point where you're not unaliving him. Like you haven't unalived, he just killed my guys. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be met with equal violence, but man, I guess, that's as long as there's not an imminent threat to them in that very second, they can't do it, right?
And verify no continued threat remained. The suspect was booked into the Box Elder County Jail on charges of aggravated murder.
100%.
Weber County Attorney's Office is coordinating the ongoing homicide investigation. Tragedies like these rock the entire community, state, and even nation. These officers and their families served their community.
He's definitely feeling it emotionally
every day and will forever be remembered as heroes. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Tremont and Garland Police Department, Box Elder County Sheriff's Office, and the family of those involved. We're grateful for the swift response from multiple agencies from Box Elder, Weber, and Cache counties. And I'll answer any questions.
Hard not to notice the emotions as you're reading through that. And how are your officers, and more importantly, the Tremont and Garland officers, handling all this right now?
As you can imagine, like I said, it rocks an entire community, especially the police department. As I mentioned at the beginning of this, Chief Cordova asked me to be here so he could be with his department and his family and take care of their needs as much as one can in a situation like this.
Can you identify the names of the officers who were killed?
We're not ready to do that just yet.
What about the shooter?
Real quick, I got an update. I've got it right here. I just want to give you guys a little update on this. So the Trump-Zelenskyy meeting at the White House starts at 12:15 p.m. of CST, so that would be 1:15 p.m. Eastern. So that's unfortunate for me because I would have liked to be able to actually host this live, but unfortunately I will not be able to be live at 12:15 my time. But we, of course, will continue covering all of these things throughout the week as we do Monday through Friday. We cover all these big topics and everything that's happening around the world. So it's not like you guys are going to miss any information, but it does suck that I wasn't able to cover it exactly when it happened. I was hoping it was going to happen at like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. or something like that. But
jail, but we're not releasing his identity yet either. We're kind of coordinating with Weber County Attorney's Office, and also Chief Cordova has expressed his desire to come out and give a statement. He's just not ready to do that yet, and so I'm just kind of giving as vague but as much information as I can until he's ready to give more.
And I know they were responding to an apparent domestic disturbance, but are you able to provide any more details on what exactly led up to the shooting?
Just that we received multiple 911 calls to that address, and when we responded, we were talking to one occupant who was giving us information that led us to believe that there was a precipitating domestic, but nothing more than that.
What do we know about the bystanders? Were they neighbors?
We believe so, yes. We're still in the process of interviewing those people.
Does the suspect have a violent background?
I am unaware of what his background is.
Is he an adult male?
An adult male, yes.
Chief, can you kind of talk about how this affects? I mean, obviously this would affect any police department incredibly. I mean, this is also a very small community and a small department. It's 21 officers in this department.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned in the press release, having 2 officers killed in the line of duty and another and their dog injured is an event that's
crazy. The dog didn't die, but we're not going to play this whole thing. We don't need to hear him, continue on this. We got the facts here. That's what we usually look for, is get the facts, and then we move on into the next. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us up to the live right here, right now. This is live, and this is regarding the EU leaders and Zelenskyy meeting at the White House this morning. Or this afternoon, rather.
Continuing to keep a very close eye on this live look from the White House. This, as President Trump will be meeting shortly with Ukrainian President Zelenskyy and European leaders to discuss how to end the war with Russia. And we will be bringing you all of these live looks and events as...
I'm a little bit more hopeful with the resolve of this now that there's all the European leaders getting a little bit more involved than previously, as well as NATO, right? They said NATO is off the table for, this is what Putin's demand is. Putin's demand is, there's not going to be any NATO. You're not going to have NATO. Ukraine's not going to become NATO, which I agree with. I do agree that they don't need NATO on their actual border right there. There's no need to do that. It's designed perfectly, in my opinion, to be a buffer zone. And if that is what it takes to have peace and not have tens and tens and tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people dying, bro, just you got to let some of these things go. You can't just be like, oh, we got to be NATO. We got to do this. Man, relax on that shit.
They happen. We are going to be stepping away for a brief break, but after that, we're going to be looking ahead to the significance of these meetings, what is involved in these meetings, and any potential concessions by Ukrainian presidents.
There's going to be concessions if they want peace. Zelenskyy has to play his cards right on this. His hand. He's got to play this right. There is going to be some concessions. You're going to have to give, there's going to be land swaps here. You know what I mean? A small amount of land swap, but it's still land swapping. And listen, whether people agree with it, it doesn't matter if there is if you do agree with it or you don't agree with it, that's just the way it is. There has to be. Exactly, Sinister. That's a fact. All right. That's the complicated part of geopolitics.
Zelenskyy. We're going to be speaking with former State Department
Trigger
official
warning? Great
and
to see
former
you.
Obama campaign foreign policy advisor David Tafuri. That conversation coming up.
I guarantee you he is too, Blair. It's going to be stupid. I really, really hope that doesn't happen. All right, let's go ahead and bring us into the live.
Walk over to the Oval Office where they will hold the meeting along with European leaders, including European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, French President Emmanuel Macron, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, among others, as well as NATO Secretary General.
What's up, Bob? Great to see you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far.
Rutte. Following President Trump and Putin's summit in Alaska on Friday, President Trump declared a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine was unnecessary for peace talks to proceed, a shift to a position favored by Putin. Secretary of State Marco
What's up, brother GEG, over there on the West Coast? Great to see you.
Rubio saying yesterday that a ceasefire was still possible, but the best way to end this conflict is through a full peace deal. President Trump taking to social media ahead of today's meeting to share, quote, President Zelenskyy of Ukraine,
as well as Dragon Classy, great to see you as well,
can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, or he can continue to fight. Remember how it started. No getting back Obama given Crimea and no going into NATO by Ukraine. Some things never change. President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff said the U.S. and its allies could offer Ukraine a NATO-like commitment to defend the country if it came
well, that kind of, like, I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose. Like, if they can have a clause, well, if it gets too fucked up here, then we're going to not only back you, but we're going to back you with NATO-like, which is NATO. NATO would essentially fund it, guaranteed. Well, if not the EU, it's 100% funded by America, which is exactly what we do not want. Because then Zelenskyy can use some sort of weird clause at any time just to start clapping. Same thing with Putin, right? We don't want that. We want it to be an actual, not a ceasefire. We don't need a 90-day ceasefire. We need an end to the fucking war.
Attack as the possible security guarantee. So the meeting between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelenskyy is scheduled to start at around 1:15 p.m.
Oh man,
Eastern
OB Joe,
time.
much love, honor, respect to you, kind sir. Hopefully you have a great appointment, my man. We'll see you on the flip side.
To speak more on this, I do want to bring in former State Department official and former Obama campaign foreign policy advisor, David Tafiri. And David, as always, we appreciate you joining us here on Live Now from Fox.
Who is this? David from, he's a former State Department official. That looks like a woman. That's the face of like a woman right there. That's a dude? I don't know, man. I'm a little skeptical. Real quick, we got Brother 13 saying we got a win in the chat. We got 36 likes and 38 viewers. You guys are all awesome. Thanks for being with us. Yes, sir. W to the chat, man. The chat always wins. I always appreciate you guys, man, for making this very shit happen. A little side note here.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
Shit. He said it. He said it, not me. We got Naomi throwing out the Venmo, PayPal, Cash Apps. I really appreciate that, by the way. Thank you for that. All right, let's go ahead and get into the rest of this shit.
Thanks for having me.
So this is a very delicate meeting. You know, a lot of different items on the agenda today. You know, what is the tone that Zelenskyy needs to set at this meeting?
Maybe some reggaeton. Shit.
Oh, shit! This is a
Just
big
kidding.
challenge for President Zelenskyy. Of course, we all remember that in February when he went to the White House.
So you are definitely, why are you gay? You are gay.
House in the Oval Office. The meeting did not go well. There was a lot of consternation on both sides and disagreement. He needs to have this go much better.
Oh man,
and it needs to be
brutal.
a very a meeting of the minds. And he's going in to make his case. It's almost like a court hearing. You know, Putin made his case last Friday. In Anchorage, Alaska, and now Zelenskyy comes in and he needs to rebut what Putin said. Putin had some success in getting President Trump to agree to hold off on a ceasefire, but President Zelenskyy now needs to reverse that. He really wants a temporary ceasefire, and that's super important for the future of Ukraine.
So let's talk about that, because that is likely what Ukrainian President Zelenskyy is going to push for. He's not alone in this meeting.
And he's definitely going to sit there and be very arrogant in the aspect of no, we're not doing any type of land swap in here, guaranteed.
European leaders are going to be with him. And over the weekend, we saw...
I really hope I'm wrong, by the way. I really hope he concedes to it. And both sides win and lose some. That's just the way it goes. And get it over with. Do it for the betterment of your fucking people. Do it for the betterment, the livelihood of the children there. Do it, you know what I mean? Like, fuck. Do it for... If you don't give a fuck about human life, then do it for money reasons. You know what I mean? But at this point... we all know that war equals money, right? It's a damn shame.
Side with EU President Ursula von der Leyen. We saw the virtual meeting with Macron and other, European leaders. What does this signal send? What is the message that this sends to President Trump, but also to Putin?
Well, I think it shows an important message to President Trump because these are all of the United States' other allies, and they're all in agreement. They're all acting in unison, and they're all supporting Ukraine, and they want the United States to continue to support Ukraine. They would very much like for President Trump to follow through on his threat to put in place new sanctions and what he calls secondary tariffs, which he was going to do 2 Fridays ago. That was the deadline if Putin did not agree to a ceasefire. He's held off on that, and I think they hope to reverse his position on that, because I think the general view of both these European countries and the EU and NATO and President Zelenskyy is that Putin is only going to make concessions that are required for there to be a ceasefire if he feels more pressure. And that pressure has to come in 2 basic ways. Economic pressure through the sanctions and secondary tariffs that President Trump said he would do, and also a commitment by the United States to continue to at least sell U.S. weapons and U.S. weapons systems to Ukraine and to work with NATO and the European allies to continue to arm Ukraine. Because if Russia is facing a well-armed Ukraine and facing new sanctions that are hurting its economy, that's the type of pressure that's going to make Putin want to settle this.
So you use the word concessions.
Oh, man.
And that is a word that Secretary of State Marco Rubio has also discussed, saying that the ceasefire deal has to have concessions. Otherwise, really, one side is surrendering to the other. And we heard from President Trump via social media saying there are 2 ways that Zelenskyy can immediately end the war. 1, not to push, NATO membership, and 2, not to demand that Crimea be, given back to them. When it comes to these concessions, is that realistic?
Well, I think it's realistic for President Zelenskyy not to push for NATO membership right now. And one thing the Trump administration has been clear about, in fairness, is they've always said they don't think Ukraine should be part of NATO. But remember...
No kidding, Steve. That's a great question. Why do we need to arm anyone? Let them stand on their fucking own 2 feet. For real, dude. I don't understand why we have to do anything. We don't have to do fucking shit.
Also, that NATO membership is up to all of the countries of NATO and up to the country that's considering, in this case, Ukraine. And so while they're not going to join NATO while President Trump is president, most likely, it's also possible that the next president, whoever that is, might feel they want Ukraine to be part of NATO. And in 3.5 years...
It's not going to happen. I don't know why this guy's spilling this rhetoric, bro. I'm trying really hard and be respectful to reporting news and shit like that. I really try to be respectful, but man, sometimes it's just so fucking brutal. It's like, man, how can you be so fucking off base sometimes? Just, I don't know.
Now, if the war in Ukraine is settled or mostly settled, it would be even more appropriate for Ukraine to be part of NATO. So I think President Zelenskyy can just agree, we're okay not being part of NATO right now. And then on Crimea, I think it's hard for him to say that he agrees Crimea is part of Russia. But he has already essentially agreed to the de facto occupation of Russia. Well, he doesn't want that. He doesn't think it's legal. I think he could accept a ceasefire where Russia continues to occupy it, and the decision about the legal status of Crimea is decided somewhere down the road.
So U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff did speak with Fox News Sunday and indicated that the U.S. and its allies could offer a NATO-like security commitment to Ukraine.
Why? Are we getting paid for any of this shit? Are you giving us resources? Like, motherfuckers, at least pay us.
As part of all of this, if Ukraine were to come under attack, when it comes to that phrasing, what would the parameters be for the U.S. and its allies to support Ukraine if it was attacked? What would that attack look like?
Well, I think this is a very positive development for President Zelenskyy and Ukraine, because this is the first time the Trump administration or anyone from the Trump administration has said that the U.S. would provide a security guarantee. Honestly, I was surprised. I was on Fox News yesterday soon after this happened, and it took me off guard, because the Trump administration was also clear that it didn't want to give a security guarantee. So this is good news if it's serious, but we don't know whether Special Envoy Witkoff has, agreement from President Trump, from Vice President Vance, whether there's full agreement on this. A security guarantee would mean that the United States is saying, if Russia attacks you again after a ceasefire, we are not only going to give you weapons, we have an obligation to defend you, which means putting U.S. troops in harm's way.
We don't have an obligation to defend you. We don't. We don't have an obligation, and we should never have an obligation. No. We do shit for American interest only. That's what we should be doing.
And that's a really strong statement from the U.S.
Now, if we're talking about like something like what Trump is trying to do of settle and have a, be kind of like this peacemaker, I'm okay with all that. I'm cool with all that. I love that. But financially, us citizens do not need to feel the wrath of your fucking war. As we always seem to fucking do, we just take all from America, all the citizens, and we fund these fucking wars. And fuck all that, bro. Fuck all that.
But it's incongruous with what Trump administration has said in the past about not wanting to put U.S. troops in danger. So I'm a little bit skeptical that the U.S. will actually do it. But if they did, that's the kind of thing that could really appeal to President Zelenskyy and make him feel more comfortable doing a ceasefire, knowing that the U.S. has guaranteed they will defend Ukraine if Russia breaks the ceasefire.
Have a great rest of your day, Naomi. Hopefully you enjoy hanging out with us. Great to see you again. And we'll see you very soon.
President Trump has been very vocal when it comes to his desire for peace, wanting there to be a peaceful resolution with this war. He's also expressed frustrations with both Ukrainian President Zelenskyy and also with Russian President Putin. At what point, from your experience, could the U.S. decide to walk away? Because we've also heard President Trump saying, this isn't a war with the U.S. We're trying to facilitate, but at some point, they're going to have to deal with these matters on their own.
Well, President Trump seems to want it both ways. He wants to say this isn't our issue. We didn't start this war, which is true. He wasn't president, at least when the invasion in 2022 happened. But at the same time, he's conducting these meetings and the whole world is watching. So he has himself in the middle of it. And I think there's a big...
Yeah, there's a difference, like I just explained, being in the middle of it as being a peacemaker, not by funding and not with contracts and being obligated to fucking shit. Being a peacemaker in this, we're not losing out on anything. I would hope that people have the betterment in mind for human life and would want peace between the two, right? So I aim for that angle. So it's just, I don't know, man. Like, that's okay to do and get in the middle of. I'm cool with that. I like that. But if we're going to start funding and having this burden now on the United States citizen, that's where I draw the line.
Risk for President Trump now to walk away because he has taken on this issue. And he even said during the campaign several times that he would solve the Ukraine-Russia crisis on day one. We're at 6 months. And, admittedly, I think everyone understood it's a much more difficult and protracted conflict. It's going to take a while to solve it. But I think President Trump would be risking his reputation if he walked away now. So I think he's committed to continuing to try to mediate a resolution, but it's really up to what he does in terms of next steps. And I believe that it's only if he puts more pressure on Putin that...
Yeah, Lappy. Isn't that fucking wild?
They will get a ceasefire.
We live in a
Russia and
crazy
Putin
time.
Are recalcitrant parties here.
Yeah, I am late. Hey, it's all good, Rob's neighbor. I appreciate you hanging out with us, even though it's late. Doesn't matter. Great to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday.
Zelenskyy and the terms that President Zelenskyy and the Ukrainians have put forward are reasonable given the fact that they shouldn't have to give up any territory. It's part of their territory.
Real quick, you guys don't have to like all the craziness that's happening in the world right now. Obviously, you don't have to like this guy's fucking take. But you guys can hit the like button for me and my takes, man. I really appreciate you guys, and hopefully you guys are enjoying your morning so far. Thank you all for being here.
Russia invaded illegally. Putin is an indicted war criminal and has committed atrocities inside Ukraine. So there's lots of reasons for Ukraine to take a hard stance, but I think they're being reasonable, and I think they will agree to Russia continuing to occupy some territory that they have already taken if there is a ceasefire with security guarantees and with other measures of confidence, like perhaps European troops being inside Ukraine and being able to monitor the ceasefire.
So what do you think a successful meeting will look like?
Well, I think a successful meeting will
What's up, brother Steve Posey? Good morning.
Very different from the meeting in February.
Oh,
and
you were saying good morning to Go Siegel.
Nice. I think
like
President
that.
Zelenskyy would be wise to work through an interpreter. He's very charismatic, and he's very good at making his position clear, but he's not as good when he's not speaking in his native language, which he did in the first meeting in the Oval Office. So I think it will slow things down if he works through an interpreter and he can be more precise. It's also more hard for someone like J.D. Vance to interrupt him if he's working through a translator. I think it would be a good meeting if everyone gets to say their position, if there's an evolution in the discussion about what specific terms would be acceptable to Ukraine for a ceasefire. It would also be helpful if President Zelenskyy can hear, at least privately from President Trump, exactly what Putin told him on Friday in Anchorage. Those are the things that would move the ball forward. And I think the hope of Ukraine and also the European leaders who are coming is that they'll leave the meeting with smiles on their faces, with hugs and with a belief that they've made progress.
This guy is so fucking fake, bro. Oh my God.
Stop the cap. It's going to be very interesting to see. We're going to be carrying it live right here on Live Now from Fox. David, as always, we appreciate you joining us here.
Great. Thank you.
And another live look here.
I know you
outside the
have.
White
That's
House.
why I said, oh, you were talking to Ghost. I know you. I know. I said good morning to you already. So that's why I said that.
This is
I
where
read
we
too
are-
fast and I'm smoking a little left-handed tobacco. Don't blame me, homie.
We're expecting the European leaders to arrive in just about 20
Blame
minutes time,
these
and then
idiots
shortly thereafter, Ukrainian
that I have to
President
smoke.
Zelenskyy. Now, Zelenskyy is supposed to arrive at around 1 p.m. Eastern time, so 1 hour later, after which they'll then head to the Oval Office and hold that bilateral meeting. We're going to bring that to you live here on Live Now from Fox.
And I'll be, of course, reporting it when it does happen. Let's go ahead and see what's happening here. It looks like there's a little bit of a chase or something. I'm not really sure here, but let's go ahead and see. New York PD News put out on X advisory due to an active police investigation. Avoid the area of West 43rd Street and 7th Avenue in Manhattan within the confines of New York PD MTS. Expect emergency vehicles and delays in the surrounding area. So let's see what's happening
In
here.
the surrounding area. Now, we are reaching out to our Fox 5 New York team for any confirmation about details. This all unfolding within the last few moments, but we did want to share this with you as we are keeping a very
Smiles
close eye
and
on
hugs.
this situation,
Fake
as there is
motherfucker.
an active police investigation in New York City. And you can see this very large intersection now completely empty of residents and the
Trigger, I'm trying here, cuh. I'm trying.
public. Now, typically, as you can imagine, this is close to noontime in New
TCG,
York City.
good to see you,
a
man.
very
Good
busy
morning.
area right here, but all of the streets now empty of folks as police investigate something. We don't know exactly what they're investigating, but you can also see that our Fox 5 New York team has the helicopter, meaning they're not on the ground there either. And we can see some of those police vehicles.
No way we got Magic Skittles in here right now. Over there on the Twitch side, my man, great to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday morning as well. It's been many, many years since I've seen you. Great to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far. I know we are.
As they are specifically in this area
Gorilla
right
Biscuits.
here. So we did want to
Shit, he's coming in, dropping it like it's hot, man. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well. Good morning to everybody. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Appreciate that.
share that with you.
Get the
And
likes
of course,
up.
we are going to bring you any developments as they unfold.
Brother
In the
Gorilla
meantime, we
Biscuits
do
coming
have
in
a-
again. Holy shit. Man, thank you, man. That helps out not only me, but someone in the Breakfast Club as well, man. Really, honestly.
Another live event getting underway, this time out of Washington, D.C., where D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is talking about the deployment from 3 different states into D.C. National Guard troops. President Trump had requested the assistance of the National Guard troops as there was a federal police takeover. She is answering questions right now. Let's listen in.
2 police officers were injured Saturday night when they tried to tackle someone on HEB. I believe the Trump administration is trying to force Metropolitan Police to adopt more aggressive tactics than they had previously.
Yo, that is my favorite thing that I've seen right there. Boom. Gorilla Biscuits becoming a YouTube member. Yes. Bro, you have given away probably at this point like 50 plus memberships in total, just from doing what you do. And I'm like, dude, you're not even a member, bro. So I appreciate the commitment there, man. Thank you for making it rain, man. Hell yeah.
Not familiar with that case yet. I'll probably, if that's a MPD officer, I'll get briefed on it and or ask the chief if there were other officers that were involved.
I think they're being forced to adopt more aggressive tactics than they had before all this happened.
The standards that our police work under haven't changed.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You have the last question.
Mayor, I know you've had. I'm Alan Eder from WTOP.
Yes, good to see you.
Good to see you. I know you've had a chance to meet with the Attorney
Why does
General.
she have her teeth out like that? She, like, with her lips? I don't know if you guys saw that, but she was purposely like trying to open the bottom lip there. I don't know what she was doing there.
I'm Alan Eder from WTOP.
Yes, good to see you.
Look at her.
Good to see you.
Look at the
I
lip.
know you
Pull.
had
See how she actually pulled, like she had a little bit of muscle pull there. Like she was actually pulling it down on purpose. Is that like a nerve thing?
a chance to meet with the Attorney General. Have you had any direct interaction with
nervous.
the President? Do you want that? And what would you say to the President if you have that opportunity?
The president issued an executive order that names Pam Bondi his designee, and that's who I'll work with. Thank you, everybody.
Well, she ended that shit. Okay, let's
right
go
here
and get
as they have
into this.
evacuated it for public safety concerns. A bomb squad and emergency crews are on scene investigating.
So Times Square evacuated. Suspicious package left outside NYPD. This is happening right now. Times Square got fucking evacuated. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
That's fucking crazy.
The police confirmed the package.
I didn't realize
at the
that
front
was all
door
happening.
Of the New York Police Department facility in Times Square, but authorities beyond that have not released further details, and the situation does remain active. But it's certainly a very different scene of this, as you can typically imagine. In fact, you can see a drone. Actually, it's a little hard to see, but it does look like police have deployed drones. We see at least one flying.
Of course, the police. That's what they do. They always have some drone operator that comes out and films their shit or searches or whatever the fuck.
The vicinity right here, but the entire Times Square evacuated for this suspicious package right here. And for more on this, I did want to head to our Fox 5 New York team as they have continuing coverage of this breaking news.
Wow. That's fucking crazy.
Above,
Good eye.
above the street there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll just stay here for the last 10 minutes.
They're showing this guy live from the office there.
We have that video, so I'm gonna put it up.
All right, let's.
In the background, and I'm gonna have.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna put it up
Let's. So we'll watch the video
right now.
together.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, it's a video.
Here's a video.
Oh shit.
From 43rd and looks like 43rd and 42nd and Broadway, from photojournalist Dave Corporon. So we'll just watch it together and.
No kidding, Steve.
What
That's
Dave
funny.
saw from the scene. He's right by that NYPD substation. He's around, maybe a block or so from the NYPD substation at 43rd.
Man.
Wait, with a live picture.
So just to give you a sense of what, in the big picture there, you're seeing the ground shots of the scene of this suspicious package in Times Square. And then above, so that's recorded. That was taken a few minutes ago. And that smaller box on the lower right-hand corner of your screen is a live feed from Skyfox.
It just looks miserable out there. At least in Vegas, you have a chance to be able to like win some money and shit. You know what I mean? This just looks like misery. Thank God I don't live in any of that shit.
Right now, this looks like there's something going on. But I'll put Dave's stuff in the picture.
Okay, so we basically just swapped the. Now we're looking at live chopper here on your screen as we speak with the police dog there searching. And
there we go.
In the small box there is the material from our photographer Dave Corporon.
All right. Let's go ahead and speed up a little
in
bit
Times
here.
Square, that led to the evacuation of this entire area where tens of thousands of people regularly congregate and work on a daily basis. It is almost noontime right there, so we did want to share that with you. Any developments, we of course will bring that to you. We also have another major story that we are continuing to follow, a live look right here outside the White House. As you can see, that this is the very beginning of the ceremony, and we are expecting to see European leaders arrive at the White House. An hour later, that is when we
Be
are
good, Brother Blair. We'll see you on the flip side, my man.
expecting Ukrainian President Zelenskyy to arrive at the White House, and President Trump will greet him, after which they will then head to the Oval Office and hold that bilateral meeting. So we do see that.
Yeah, I wish I could be able to film or live stream that, but we'll have to discuss that tomorrow. Unfortunately, we'll give you guys the highlights rather than the entirety. Well, we'll probably get the entirety, but. Magic Skittle saying, we found you on YouTube. Hey, bro, I appreciate you hanging out with us, man. Great to see you over here. Sincerely. Well, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough for making these very shows happen. I'm very honored to be able to do what I do for a living, man. And thank you. I can't do it without you guys, honestly. So thank you for engaging, hitting the like button. donations, all these things are really appreciative. Your comments, engagement like that, man, I really appreciate it. So W to the Breakfast Club today, man. As always. All right. Until tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness, much love, honor, respect to everybody. God bless everyone. And make sure you guys stick around. We're going to be raiding our buddy Carney. So stick around for that. All right. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his